We're going. You're up in it.
No, you said you were going to do this.
No, you can do the first 6 slides.
Okay. So the category that we're under tonight is learning and development, and we are going to, at the end of the day, understand Paul Harris recognition amounts and recognition points. And thank you, Thomas McMillan, for being willing to present this to us tonight. Why learning and development? An educated and informed Rotarian or Rotaractor is an empowered and engaged Rotarian or Rotaractor. An investment in learning and development grows Rotarians professionally and personally. Rotarian International Action Plan is in effect until 2024, and this action plan guides our training and service. All training during the training Fiesta will be conducted with the 4 strategic imperatives of the action plan. Increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance participant engagement, and increase our ability to adapt. So this falls under the enhanced participant engagement, and we want to challenge our club to shift focus from gaining new members to delivering value and engaging members. We want to build connections with everyone who encounters Rotary as a participant and invite them to share their ideas and thoughts. And we want to use Rotary's Learning Center to develop leadership and other skills in participants.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this. Oh, thank you, Annette. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this training Fiesta module. My name is Tom McMillan. I'm the brand new District 5050 Annual Giving Major Gifts and Paul Harris Society Chair, taking over from Steve Morak. I've been a member of the Rotary Club of Abbotsford Sumas since 1997. I've been president of the club for 2.5 terms, and I've been foundation chair for 11 years. I recently retired and offered my service to District 5050's foundation chair, Malcolm Kennedy, and was offered the mentioned chair position. Anyway, as we go through the presentation, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat area, noting the screen number that your question refers to. Malcolm is following along and will attempt to answer any questions as we go. Remember, as we go through the presentation, all dollar figures quoted are in US dollars. Malcolm? Okay. As you're probably aware, Rotary uses many acronyms, so we will go through the next 2 slides fairly quickly. Just remember that since many people confuse the acronyms between RI and TRF, they need to remain separate for tax purposes. Tonight, we're focusing on TRF, which is the Rotary Foundation. We are joined at the hip with RI, Rotary International, but paying your dues to RI does not mean you've made a donation to the Rotary Foundation. The mission of the Rotary Foundation is to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, the alleviation of poverty. And the goal of the Rotary Foundation is to do good in the world. Here's how donations to the annual fund are handled by the Rotary Foundation. Currently, donations are made or invested for 3 years with growth supporting foundation operations. Then 50% of the funds donated go to the World Fund for global grants and programs, some going to Polio Plus, others to the Rotary Peace Centers, other districts that struggle, and to our endowment fund. The other 50%, less 5% for administration purposes, comes back to each district that donated to use for district grants and global grants administered by the district. Next screen. To review, this is where it gets a bit technical. When we contribute to the annual fund or share, 50% minus 5% of our contributions come back to our district through district designated funds called DDF in 3 years to spend on educational and humanitarian activities chosen by district clubs, and even grants that may be used for projects in our local communities. The 5% that is earmarked to potentially pay for foundation's operating expenses will go to the World Fund. It will be used only if it is needed to pay expenses when net investment returns are not sufficient, or to fully fund the operating reserve, which is up to 3 times the annual operating expenses. If funds are not needed For these purposes, they will remain in the World Fund until the World Fund is measured to ensure sufficient funds for its programs. After July 1st, 2021, the 5% admin fee will be split between the Share Fund and the World Fund. So we will, as a district, will be getting back 47.5% of our donations to use for DDFs instead of the 45%. In the final step, the World Fund is measured to ensure that it contains 50% of the 3 years worth of contributions plus $5 million, a growth factor. Then and only then, surplus funds will be transferred back to the endowment fund. This funding model builds our financial strength by ensuring that resources are available to meet current needs for programs and operating expenses. It establishes a reserve to provide for unusual financial events, sort of a rainy day fund, or known as the operating reserve, and ensures an increase in future programs through increased amounts and returns to the endowment fund. Next slide. How can a Rotarian become involved? Let's talk about you. Your donations, your Paul Harris Fund recognition amount, your recognition points, how to donate, how to direct your donation, go to rotary.org. Next screen. Here is how you get into my Rotary and begin your journey. Go to my Rotary and either sign into my Rotary if you've already done so in the past. If not, you will need to register. Your username will be your email account that you use for Rotary or is connected to your Rotary membership number. You will also need to create a password. Click on Remember Me so that when you sign in at other times, it's available for you, or save your password in a way that you feel comfortable. Next screen. Once signed into my Rotary, this screen becomes available. And if you wish to donate to some area of focus, just click on Donate. And this screen is where you get to choose where you would like your contribution to the Rotary Foundation be assigned. All donations to any of these funds qualify as causes that are eligible for Paul Harris Fellow recognition. Sorry, thank you. If you donate to any of these areas of, if you donate to any of these Rotary areas of focus, these funds do not generate district designated funds, but go directly to that area of focus. If you're donating to the endowment fund, more information will be following. You get to decide which endowment area you wish to support. A global grant is usually a collaboration of several Rotary clubs getting together to create a sustainable project in another country, usually a third world country, of course, creating a measurable project. I'm very proud that my club, with assistance of about 7 other clubs within our district, recently achieved an over $200,000 US global grant. We partnered with the Rotary Club of Guatemala City and other clubs in our district to assist a wheelchair handicap building business in Antigua, Guatemala, called Transitions. Most of the employees at Transitions are wheelchair bound, but they build specialized wheelchairs for others in need within that country and are reaching out to other nearby countries to supply wheelchairs to those also in need. Please be advised that if your club wishes to make a donation to a global grant pending, make sure that the global grant has been approved by Rotary International prior to making the donation. Do not send your money to the Rotary Foundation assuming the grant has been approved. Check with the grant applicators first. If you're a Rotarian and making a donation, it can be made as you see fit to honor in memory of someone, or you can apply it to your own account. You can select your country. If in Canada, like we all seem to be here, Rotary International will exchange to US dollars at the current monthly rate. US members do not need to worry about this. Nobody came on that was from the US right now. So you can donate one time or have a recurring donation and select your amount either once, monthly, quarterly, or annually. This form will auto-populate your name, phone number, and email address. You just have to enter your credit card number, expiration date, and CVV number, and Rotary will take care of the rest and quickly send you a donation tax receipt. Just fill out the billing address for your credit card and click on Review or Check, Submit. Once submitted, you can check your donation levels by going back to this screen and click on My Donations. My donations, thank you, Malcolm. Next screen. Oh, you can also check your profile just to make sure you've got all your information correct. Then click on Donor History and then on Individual Reports, and that'll give you your history. When this screen comes up, it shows that this Rotarian knows where their donation history report has them where they are. This Rotarian is a Paul Harris Fellow +8. Their recognition amount is 1,040, no, sorry, 10, it's the wrong one. The recognition amount is $10,145.99, and the foundation recognition amount is $1179.63, which means that this Rotarian can transfer over those points to either another club member or community-minded person or persons making or assisting them become Paul Harris Fellows. The gifts part of this screen allows the Rotarian to see where they have donated personally to the various funds. At the bottom, you can see the transaction detail, which will be seen in the next slide, but please note the purple and blue ball showing percentages to either fund that this Rotarian has made to. On this slide, a Rotarian can see every transaction they made to the Rotary Foundation. Every donation is tracked and where the donation was designated for. On this screen, donations go to Polio Plus, annual fund, obviously in Canadian dollars, changed into US funds at Rotary's exchange rate for that month. Now we get to where the recognition for Rotarians' donations. The Rotary Foundation tracks contributions for each donor and recognizes them in a way that Rotary has created. The rewards are obviously automatic. The Paul Harris Fellow is one of the most prestigious levels in Rotary to achieve by a Rotarian or non-Rotarian, and comes with a Paul Harris pin and a certificate. Each subsequent Paul Harris Fellow recognition is not only a recognition of the original Paul Harris Fellow, but a recognition that a commitment to world understanding and peace is committed to. Let me read that one there a bit. Okay. This screen explains how our Paul Harris Fellowship members are recognized through multiple donations to the Rotary Foundation. Pins are presented after the first Paul Harris Fellow through Paul Harris +5 with additional sapphires on each one. Paul Harris +6 through 8 is 1 to 3 rubies. After becoming a Paul Harris +8 status, the next recognition level within Rotary is a level 1 major donor status. There are 4 levels in the major donor area. Each level comes with a square Paul Harris pin and 1 to 4 diamonds, and you can see the amounts that are required. The next few screens are fairly explanatory for various reasons, for various other recognitions for individuals. A Rotary Foundation sustaining member, a benefactor, and a bequest society. And these amounts are how you donate to Rotary. Okay. When you become a member, or you become a member of the Arch Clump Society when your donations reach $250,000 US, and there are many levels within that society, as you can see on this screen. There's the Legacy Society, if you promise a gift. The next screen, club recognitions are shown here. There are some clubs within our district that have achieved 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club. This award is a one-time only recognition. There's also 100% Paul Harris Society Club. And you can see how a club can achieve that. There's a 100% Foundation Club with a criteria shown. Just pause for a second there so people can catch up. There's a lot of information coming here. Okay. And 100% Rotary's Promise Club with the same or similar criteria. Every Rotarian every year club is explained here. For clubs that achieve the minimum contribution from every club member can achieve this amount. And there's also the top 3 clubs, the next part of it. Top 3 clubs in the district are recognized usually at the foundation event in November, and they are the ones that donate the most per capita. How do I transfer recognition points? The points are very important. Foundation recognition points are awarded to donors who contribute to the Rotary Foundation through the annual fund or Polio Plus, or who contribute to sponsorship of a foundation grant. Donors receive 1 recognition point for every US dollar contributed to these funds. Since 2011, donors can transfer foundation recognition points to others to help them qualify as Paul Harris Fellow or multiple Paul Harris Fellow. How do I transfer these points? A minimum of 100 points must be transferred at a time. You can't transfer 75 points or less. And you must complete and sign the recognition and transfer request. And they're available online. The points cannot be transferred from individuals to a club or to a district. They can only be transferred to a person. Individual donors are the only ones authorized to transfer recognition points from their individual account. And club presidents are the only ones authorized to transfer recognition points from a club account. 41. Back to this screen again. You can see that this Rotarian has 1,179 points available in their account that they can transfer to somebody else to either award them a full Paul Harris, or you can transfer partial points to assist somebody becoming a Paul Harris. And or you can put 1,000 points into somebody's name that you know. Every Rotarian is encouraged to participate in a Rotary Foundation project. I urge your club to apply for a district grant or a global grant and make a personal gift to the Rotary Foundation annual fund every year. This is our goal, $100 US donation benchmark to the Rotary Foundation from every Rotarian every year. Visit Rotary.org. Rotary Foundation is a not-for-profit corporation supported solely by volunteer contributions from Rotary members and friends of the foundation who share this vision of a better world. Now, forgot this part. The support is essential to make possible projects funded with foundation grants that bring sustainable improvement to communities in need. Now, for a new program that is a strictly District 5050 initiative. This is a new society just recently announced by Malcolm Kennedy to all club members in District 5050. To belong, you commit to donating $100 US or more per year and pledge to do so until polio is completely eradicated. It's as simple as that. To become a member, go online to Rotary.org, donate, and under featured causes, select Polio Fund. Click on recurring donation and make it annually for $100 US or more. To receive your PIN and certificate, fill in the Polio Plus Society pledge form found online on our District 5050 organization under the Foundation tab. And email the completed form to Malcolm Kennedy at malcolm.rotary@outlook.com. Once the form is filled out and emailed to Rotarian, the Rotarian will receive the coveted certificate and the amazing PIN. Any questions? And I haven't seen the chat because I've been reading.
Malcolm, do you want me to read the?
Yeah, you got some questions in the chat?
There's one from Greg.
Also, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can someone hear me? So this is Jim Hagan, and I'm with the Rotary Club Lake Stevens down here in Washington. And I couldn't get on the thing, but so I'm on my phone. I'm listening to everything you're talking about. So I don't know if you can see that I'm there or not. But I've enjoyed everything so far. I just have one quick question going back to the thing. I think I have my president, because we give points to other people through the club at times. And I think I've just been doing that by just filling out the form and signing it as a foundation chair. But maybe I should have the president sign off on that. Maybe I don't recall, but we've been doing that a lot. But I'll look into it. But thanks, I'm enjoying it. So I don't know how to mute myself, but I'll be quiet.
That was difficult to hear.
Yes.
But I think you're asking if it's okay to transfer points within your club or to other members. Yes, that's very simple to do.
And he was also wondering if it's mandatory that the president signs off on the transfer of those points.
No.
Because I believe that it's someone else in the club that's been doing that, the foundation chair of the
Foundation chair can do it, but a person can do it on their own.
No, I'm
Can
just
transfer their own points to
club.
someone. Sorry?
This is from the club account.
Oh, the
This is
club
from the
account
club
can only
account.
be, the club account can only be done by the president. Correct, Malcolm?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
All right, well, I'll start doing that.
Okay.
Greg, do you want to ask your question or do you want me to read it for you?
I can read it if you like. It appeared from one of the slides, it was around 35 or 36, that there was no Paul Harris recognition for donations to the endowment fund. I'm wondering why that is, and if there are other donations that are also not recognized with Paul Harris.
Okay. Everything that was in the one slide is recognized. The endowment fund is not recognized because it's an endowment and it hasn't been spent yet. You haven't actually given the money. It's in an endowment side. So when the money goes through, the Paul Harris points could be recognized. I'm not sure about that though, for sure, Greg. Okay.
Okay.
But if you're making an actual cash donation, then yes, they are. Okay. But if you're endowing some money down the road, then it's not yet.
Okay, well, maybe I've misunderstood the endowment fund then. I thought a donation to that was, the money was out of my pocket now, and it was going into the endowment fund and would sit there and be used for some purpose over time. But I had already made the donation.
Right.
Is that not correct?
Yeah, okay. I was thinking about the endowment of after you have passed away and so on and so forth.
No, certainly if
We're
for
actually
your
talking
will,
about different-
for a testamentary disposition or donation, I understand that, yes.
Now the endowment fund, I think, and Thomas, can you call that? We have a session coming up on the endowment fund because it's a little murky in my mind too, on the 29th. But I would think if your endowment fund, if you're making a direct donation to the foundation and tagging it for the endowment fund, it should be Paul Harris points, but I'm going to have to check that out for sure for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but Greg, if you go on to your own profile and look at it should show you that donation somewhere, and if it shows up, it should show on to the right side of that. If it's foundation points available. I know I made donations years and years ago that to disaster relief and whatnot, and they showed up as points that were available.
Yeah. I haven't made a donation specifically to the endowment fund. I've been concerned about getting the recognition points, so I've done those that I know will provide recognition. But I noticed in that slide, it seemed to draw a distinction between the endowment fund, the annual fund, and Polio Plus. And I wondered why, if it was suggesting that the endowment fund donations were not recognized, why that would be.
Yeah,
That's something we'll look into.
Okay.
'Cause we're not sure.
The other was a question, this, I don't know whether it's for Tom or Malcolm. I currently am every Rotarian every year member. I do that.
Yeah.
How do you convert that, or do you need to become a member of Polio Plus Society? Or are you looking for an additional donation for that?
When you don't, depends how you donate. If you donated to the annual fund or to Polio Plus. If you donate to the annual fund, that won't, I don't think qualifies as the Polio Plus Society for our district. You have to donate directly. So my club, we challenged our club members that we're going to, because we used to donate every November to the foundation, to the annual fund, $100 from each club member, US, to the annual fund. And that got us our every Rotarian every year. But this year, our challenge is to do it sort of twice. So to become every Rotarian every year, you'd have to do $100 US, and to become a member of the Polio Plus Society, another $100 US. So there's sort of two different things. Correct, Malcolm?
Yeah, and I think we're looking for the additional funds, but if you are already donating to the Polio Plus Fund on an annual basis of $100 or more, then just send in your form to me and I'll make sure you get your Paul Harris Society award.
Okay, because I think I'm donating more than 200, so I could allocate it part to Polio Plus,
I would
and part
allocate
for the other, and there you go.
Okay. Half and half.
Yep.
Perfect. Somebody.
Oh, we got somebody new in here too. Linda's here.
I have a question, Jonathan here.
Yes.
Hi, Jonathan.
So Paul Harris Society, who is dealing with that recognition? Like if somebody's donating the $1,000 a year, every year, who is that the club responsible for that, or is that the district responsible? I was looking up, I'd never really found out.
If you go into the Paul Harris Society part of the foundation giving, that should show who in your club.
Yeah, it does. It shows up there, but like I've been doing it for 3 years now, and I have no recognition. So I was wondering whether that was a president issue or whether it was a district issue.
No, what is
happening? Sorry, Jonathan, I dealt with this a few years ago with the same issue with Steve, and Steve Morrick, that was the chair before, and he couldn't see that our club was doing that, but I think I know how, so I will check into, and this is Mission Sunrise.
Yeah, I think
I'll find out.
Okay, Jonathan, the actual Paul Harris Society is only about a month old.
No, the Polio Plus Society is a month old. Paul Harris Society is, right? Isn't that it?
Yes. Yeah. So we talk about Paul Harris.
Because you should get sort of like wings.
Yeah, flying or whatever. No, I don't know.
I'll find out for you, Jonathan. Do I have your email?
Well, I imagine I'm president-elect this year.
You're on the district, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll find it and I'll find out for you, Jonathan.
But that is an interesting question. Like when one of your members reaches a milestone, what triggers the
exactly
or whatever to be brought? Do we need to be checking on that every month to see?
No. When you automatically with your Paul Harris fellow, when you reach the next milestone, Rotary will then send you the next pin.
But that doesn't work for the Paul Harris Society, Malcolm. You have to get the contact. It used to be Steve, and now it's me. to get those wings sent out, because it was Steve that sent my club's wings out.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just not too sure if we're answering the same question. Are you talking about the Paul Harris Fellowship, or are you talking about the Paul Harris Society?
What's the difference?
Well, the Paul Harris Fellow, you get at every $1,000, you will get another pin.
Okay.
But there's the wings that you get when you do it in 1 year.
Yeah.
For more than 1 year.
Yeah, but every year that you get
Right.
it, you should be qualified for those wings. And I know what you're talking about, because it took me a while to get mine.
Yes. So is that what you're asking, Annette? Or are you asking about the Paul Harris Fellowship? Because a lot of members of the clubs wonder how do I get my next PHF, right? And that's an automatic.
Yep, that's automatic.
Yeah, like I have
Okay, one at a time. Go ahead.
Right. I was just going to say, like, I have 5,000 points sitting in as recognition, right? And so if it's happening automatically, then I'm confused.
Because
So
you've never received a Paul Harris recognition.
Well, or the Paul Harris Society. Like, I have a Paul Harris plus something, but there's like, I'm eligible, or there's like 5,000 something available there. That's what I'm asking. So, like, what's triggering it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if it's the president that's supposed to do it, then that's great. I'm just not sure. Is it automatic, or what the deal is? Because as president-elect, I want to know if I'm supposed to be doing that.
But the actual recognition points are yours to use as you wish.
Yeah, but
Okay.
That's not. I don't think that's what Jonathan's asking. He's asking about the Paul Harris Society, and I understand that, Jonathan. And I will find out for you and get you your wings, because you're definitely, if you're donating $1,000 US in a fiscal year, you qualify.
Yes.
And you can go online and see that, or at least I can see it.
It's there.
I'll find out for you.
It's there.
Okay.
And Malcolm, you actually answered my question. Thank you as well. Because I had two questions. Sorry, you guys.
No problem.
That's good.
Love the background.
Yeah.
Could I ask another question?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't note the slide, but you had the slide that showed what the website looked like, and it had recognition points and another category above it. One of them on the slide was 10,000 and something, and the other was, I think, 1,000 and something.
I'm going to pull up that slide right now.
I'm trying to understand the difference between those two categories.
Okay.
That is one of the things that we have a problem with all the time. Is this the one that you?
Yeah.
That's the one. Yes. So you got
one. Okay. So in the Paul Harris Fellow, and this happens to be me, by the way.
Can you make it bigger, Malcolm?
Slideshow, just a minute. Current slide. How's that?
There. That's better.
Great.
So in this one here, you notice that I'm a Paul Harris +8.
Mm-hmm.
My recognition amount below that is 10,000. Okay. I also have foundation points. So there's a difference between the foundation points and the Paul Harris Fellow. And I wish they would have not called one amount and the other one points, because it's a very confusing terminology. So if you look down here, I've only donated $3,200, but I have a Paul Harris +8. In order to achieve a Paul Harris +8, you would have thought I would have had to have donated at least $9,000. But members from my club have given me a Paul Harris. That's why I'm up to a Paul Harris +8. Okay, so the recognition amount is 10,000, because that's because of no matter who pays for it, when they give me a Paul Harris Fellow,
okay,
I get that recognition. Okay, amount. Doesn't mean to say that I've donated that much. Now, the one down below is recognition points. I get a point for every dollar I've donated. I've given away a couple of Paul Harris's, so I should, if I haven't given any away, I would have had 3,200 recognition points. Does that
But
make sense?
because you've given some away, the 1179 is your
what I have left.
remaining balance.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
your Paul Harris bank account. Okay.
That's correct.
That is correct. So, and this only starts from 2011, right? So if you go back on your own and you're being a member of the club longer than that, your recognition points may not be as high as what you think they are.
I see.
So
Why
now
in
those
this
recognition
example-
points, pardon me?
Sorry. Why in this example on your recognition amount, it's 10,000, but you're still a fellow +8? Shouldn't you be in the next?
No, because that's
No.
that's as high as you can go. Paul Harris +8 is as high as you can go.
Well, until you get to your own personal donations of $10,000, then you become the
Major donor.
the major donor. But that has to come from you. You cannot come from points transferred to you.
Okay.
So if you look at, I can't show mine because I don't have that screen, but my because I'm a major donor, my all-time giving, it says it looks like I'm at $19,000, but I'm not. I'm just over 10,000, and I got this pin just last year.
Okay, so this one here, this slide here shows you your Paul Harris +8 is 9,000 to 99.99. So at $10,000, and then it moves to the next level, which is your major donor. That major donor becomes, as Thomas has said, is actual cash donations made by you, not by somebody giving you a Paul
A
Harris.
pin, no.
Whereas the PHF recognition that was on the previous slide is total donations by yourself and others who've donated and
Yes.
given you credit for them. Okay.
Correct.
Right. And I've used my own slide because it really shows the difference here, okay? And this is
It
what,
does.
yeah, because I've only got $3,200 that I personally donated since the time. So then, but I got Paul Harris +8 and I got 10,000 recognition amount, and it's confusing, right? But the reason is because I've awarded some Paul Harris fellows.
It's an excellent explanation. Yes, between you and Thomas, that really helps a lot. Thank you.
Okay, because
Thanks, Jonathan.
that's one of the points that people don't understand, and I wish people would use up their actual foundation recognition points because they're sitting on them, and a lot of members have a lot of those points, and they should be giving them. I give my wife one. I don't know if you can see behind me on my screen when I show you, but on my wall there's one for my wife, one for my son, hanging on my wall behind me. So I put them in a frame and give them to them. So I really would encourage people to give out those Paul Harris recognition.
Is there any standardized frame that each club uses, or do you select your own ideas?
You get to select your own. It usually just comes in a frame, but I use our own, and I bought it from the Clinton Center Mall, and it cost me about $110 for the frame and the way I have it done up. So
Hang on just a second here. I'll show you.
so I mean, yeah, there is no standard one. There's not one that comes out of your Rotary. It's just if you like to do it, which I found it was very, very beneficial.
The one that the club gave me is very fancy. Can't imagine another one like that.
Yeah, which I think is, if you're going to give it away to someone, then it's nice to put it into a nice frame and hang on their wall. I've been to a number of places they have them hang in their business, and it's really nice, to actually see it.
Your point about donating the foundation recognition points, not letting them accumulate, would be a good one to make to the foundation chairs in, is it October or November? Foundation month? So that they can remind people, don't let them accumulate. Do something with them.
Like there isn't anything wrong with them sitting there, but I just think we're kind of wasting this advertising dollar we have that we should be using. Yeah.
Yep.
In my own club, and we're only a club of 22, our club has 27 Paul Harris's that they can award in their own account, and club members themselves have about 58 to 60. And it's really difficult to get people to decide on who they're going to give it to. So, I've got like myself, I have, I think, 8,000 points sitting in my account. I've got a couple of people lined up to give them to, but they were all lined up prior to COVID happening. And it's like, okay, now how the hell are we going to make this a memorable occasion?
Yeah.
How does a club accumulate points
By
separate
the
from an
club
individual?
itself donating dollars to the annual fund or to Polio Plus.
Okay,
My club does to Golf Fund every year. We sponsor 1 or 2 holes, and that goes directly to the club's account. So the club has the ability to donate or create a Paul Harris Fellow for someone within the community. And it's usually decided at a board meeting or something like that.
Well, the person,
Yolanda,
hi. So the person that gets these points, what can they do with them? Are they like Bitcoins?
no. They're not cashable, they're just prestigious.
Okay, so is that what you're talking about when you're saying you give them to somebody and they put
They
them?
become a Paul Harris Fellow,
Okay,
which is one of the most prestigious awards Rotary can bestow on somebody.
okay. So even somebody that's non-Rotarian, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yolanda, where are you from?
Where- Well, because I showed up late, I don't know if I want to tell you. Miami Club.
Pardon?
I was talking to my grandson, so this is about the time, bedtime, and everything. That's why I'm late. But I'm from the Semiamo Club.
Oh, Semiamo.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg's club.
so
Same, but yeah, I'm in Greg's club.
Yolanta, when we do our Paul Harris is in the fall or the winter,
Yeah.
we have a club member and a community member. The
Right.
community member one, those are both coming either from the club fund or from Paul Harris recognition points that have been provided by other members in the club.
So if they sit in your account, they're not doing they're not going to ever do you any good, right?
No.
Not once you become a Paul Harris Fellow and move on. It's like a bank account.
But you cannot use those points to buy your Paul Harris.
Oh, absolutely.
No,
You
you
can't.
can't. You can't.
No.
You cannot transfer those Paul recognition points to you. You have to give them to somebody else.
Okay, so just to clarify, one of the times that I had donated, they had something about matching points or something. So
Yes.
Yes.
is that where they donate some of their points to
They-
match
Yes.
whatever you're donating? Is that
Yep.
it?
They go into your account, so your account grows.
Okay. And so those points become like instead of the money that you're donating? Or am
Yeah.
I talking about a different?
No. So what happens if you made a donation of $500 and we match those 500 points, you would get a Paul Harris.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So that's how, because someone gave you those points, and when we give away those points, we usually tap into somebody from your district. I have a friend of mine who has 235,000 points sitting there. So I tap into his points. I say, hey, can you give us some points so I can run a little bit of a promo? So when you donate $500, we give you 500 points. You automatically become a Paul Harris Fellow.
Okay.
So
But
it's
you also, when you give $500, you get 500 recognition points that you
Yes.
can then give to someone else. So it's
Absolutely.
one for one.
Okay. That helps. This helps.
Yeah.
Um,
You can't give away points that have been donated to you.
No.
The only points that you can give away are points that you've
that you've earned.
sent money to Rotary.
well,
for.
is there a different category than the ones that
Yeah, if it's that's on that screen that
would be? Okay, it's separated.
Malcolm had, it's separated. Yeah.
And just
One more question.
Yes.
Where does the money that we donate to this, what do they do with it? It becomes part of the global, like,
Okay, let me go back in. So we talked about that earlier. See, people that are late,
Oh.
you see that.
Sorry, Yolanta.
Okay,
Let me go
well,
back to the-
I'm just going to stop my video so you can't see
No,
my.
no, no,
No,
that's
no,
okay.
no, 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 no.
No, we're all happy, but I had to give you a bad time because I got to find the screen. Okay, so before I had to talk about something. So here's what happens. Okay, so your money that you goes into the annual fund. Okay, and don't worry, this Rotary Foundation is a complicated project. Okay, so what happens is the money that you give is.
Are you trying to share your screen,
investment
Malcolm?
fund. Pardon me?
Are you trying to share your screen?
Did it not share?
No.
Well, and why didn't it share it? I'm going to share it again because that's what I want to do.
Screen
No,
25 or 26?
I have it. Is it up?
Yes.
No,
now it's-
that's 10. You want 25 or 26?
No, listen here. Listen here is good.
Okay.
Okay, so when you make a donation of $100 per year, okay, let's just talk about $100 because it's an easy number to work with. So that money is then invested for 3 years. Okay, it comes back to us. It comes back. So it goes back to the World Fund, gets half of that and currently. So $50 would go back to the World Fund. $50 comes back to us in our district. We
Okay.
then split that money that we get into district and also global grants. So half of your money that you donate will come back to us in the actual district. Now we can tap into the World Fund money also. So when you get a global grant, a portion of the money that you get out of your grant comes from the World Fund. So we're tapping into that also. So it comes back to us when you make it to the annual fund.
Okay. Okay.
So right now, what is happening is the World Fund gets half of your money, $50. They're now keeping $5 and sending it to the operational costs because the interest rates are so low. And then we get half, which we use for our side. As of July 1, we'll get $47.50 and the World Fund will get $47.50. We're going to split that 5% cost.
Okay.
So that's what's going to happen coming up. But
Okay.
yes, that money comes back to us. When it's one of the rarest charities when you can make an actual donation to and then get the benefit of getting the money back.
Okay. Okay. So then
Like-
it goes into our own district fund?
Yes, and then we give it out to the clubs in your district grants and also global grants.
Okay. Okay.
Your club does quite well with your district grants. So your club money that your club members are actually donating is coming back to your club ultimately.
Well, not right to our club, to the district, right? We
No,
share.
it will come back to your club as a actual district grant.
It's
you
coming
apply for
back
district
to, it's coming back to projects that our club supports through district grants and or global grants, Yolanta.
So do they tag it as money that was donated by our members?
No.
No.
So it's all one big pot.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. So
Yeah.
it is, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's sort of district wide. It's like, we got a $50,000 back to our district to share, and my club applies for a grant and gets approved. I could scoop it before you did. If that's not how we do it, but there's only so much money that comes back, and then the clubs can all apply for district grants.
So at a club level, the way to get back what your club has put in is to submit lots of applications for grants.
Okay.
That's correct.
So we need projects.
Here's the money that the members donated in 2018-19, so 3 years ago. It's going to come back to us. Can you see that slide, by the way?
No,
Nope.
No,
Oh, okay. It keeps falling off of me when I do this, my share screen here. Hang on a minute. Now can you see?
yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, so if I go from this current, I want to go from here so I can see it now. Can you still see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in 2018-19, we donated, the members of District 5050 donated $333,300. So in July 1 of 2021, we'll get back 50% of that, $166,000. $166,000 will go to the World Fund. We'll then take that R166 and split it in half. 50% goes to district grants, which every club is eligible to apply for. 50% to your global grants. In a global grant, what will happen is we'll match your club funds and the World Fund will match our district funds. So you'll get it back. So you get back, you put in $10,000, $30,000 comes back to you. Or in the case of what Thomas's club, they put in $10,000 and $200,000 comes back because Canadian government was involved. So we can get it back. We do very well of getting it all back.
When you say it goes into the World Fund or global grants, 50% goes to global grants, does that get, like, do we have control over the global grant where we, like our district has control over that 50% that is going to go to a global grant that we've decided on? Is that it?
Yes.
Or does it
Yes.
go to some
No.
central?
No, that money going into the actual global grants comes out of our district funds. So
Okay.
the club has the control over that.
Okay.
We approve it. And then what'll happen is the World Fund will match it. The World Fund, why it's called your share, because it's shared throughout everybody in the whole world. In our district, we do a good job of pulling money back out of that. So we get our fair share back.
Okay. And so, so this, it would be only self-serving if we decided, okay, we're going to set up our own Paul Harris and in our own district. And so any donation, well, you just it wouldn't multiply the way that they are able to multiply it. Is that it?
I'm not sure if I understand what you're asking.
Well, giving some of it away and then having to get approval again for how the funds are spent. Why couldn't we make a donation within our district and donations, and then we just make our own decisions?
Because you're not going to get the multiplier. When you get a global grant, you get your 3.5 or your 3 to 1. So your $10,000 becomes your $30,000. You won't get that if you just give it on if you give it to yourself.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay.
Right. So our to give Malcolm an example, and Yolanta, when we did the wheelchairs to Mexico in 2015, I believe it was, we raised $30,000 at the club level.
Okay.
But that, with the multipliers from the district and the global grant, we ended up with $105,000 of buying power. That we were then able to buy $105,000 worth of wheelchairs and equipment and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, as you say, you'd never get to the multiplier. If you just kept it in the club, all we would have had was the $30,000. We wouldn't have been able to achieve anything like what we did.
Yes.
So Yolanta, there's a member in our club at Langley Central that knew that we were struggling with our fundraising and so on, and just donated $11,000 and just donated it straight to the club, and the club uses it for whatever we want to use it for. So we've bought hearing aids, we've bought outdoor classrooms, we've been able to do a lot because he just donated it straight. But you know what? He got no tax receipt for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
Well, because clubs don't give tax receipts
No.
Oh.
Now in our
unless you're a foundation.
in our Langley groupings, we do have a Langley Foundation. So he could have given there, but then that can only be used by those that that foundation. We can only now support projects that have like a Societies Act number that are approved through a charitable organization, right?
Yeah.
So it sort of limits who you can donate then to. So we donated a prosthetic to a young child, and we wouldn't have been able to take that money out of the foundation because that's going to an individual. It's not going to a nonprofit charitable.
Mm-hmm.
We have the same issue in Abbotsford. The Abbotsford Rotary Club has a foundation, and we cannot use it for the same reasons. You have to be very specific that they're charitable donations that qualify for charitable tax receipts. So if a club member makes a donation, it's just like, okay.
And that's why we need to make sure that we're very careful that people understand that Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation are two separate entities.
Yeah.
We're joined at the hip, Okay, but one is a taxable beneficiary that you can get a tax receipt from. You can't get a tax receipt from the Rotary International, but a donation to the Rotary Foundation, you can. So we have to be very careful those two become separate. So that same as at the club level, you should have two separate boards when you have your own foundation, so that there's two different entities spending the money. Okay, the same thing with the Rotary Foundation, and it's very confusing. We talk about RI and we slide into TRF language, and then we go back to RI, and it confuses people. But we got to make sure that two of them are two separate entities, joined at the hip, all the same thing, but got to keep them, if we can, separate.
So for example, our Langley clubs did a music bingo on Friday. All 4 clubs came together. We said, we're going to donate this straight to the food bank. So the money just went into Langley Central, sort of housed the accounting for that, went into our account. It will go straight back out, but there's no tax. Like if you bought your bingo cards and your prizes and so on, that can't be a donation because you want something in return for it. But again, you have control then over how you want to share the funds
And spend your money.
and spend your money. Yeah. So there were people like spending oodles of money that, like a bottle of whiskey that's worth $95 and it's going for 400 or something. You know that they're just going to give regardless. They just happen to get a bottle of whatever, scotch or something. Yeah, but there was no tax receipt for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
that's very helpful. It's a few stairs up in terms of understanding. So I appreciate that.
Well, thanks for joining with us, Yolanta. That's really cool.
Yeah, I love what you've done to your room and behind you, Tom.
Oh, it's very fake.
You've got a very nice flair there.
Yeah, it's a Zoom background. Because you would not want to see what's behind me right now.
Are you serious? That's a Zoom one? I want that one. Holy, that is awesome.
Yeah, go to zoom.ca and or zoom.com or whatever. Look for virtual backgrounds, because
oh my God, we could have a castle or something.
you could do some amazing stuff with this stuff.
Yeah.
I've been doing Zoom meetings obviously since the beginning of the pandemic, and I do about 6 or 7 Zoom meetings a week, and I have backgrounds that are waterfalls or ocean or things that move, which is really cool. But this one, I put this on my family Zoom meeting this week, and my family siblings thought we'd moved.
Are you using a green screen behind you, Tom?
No, I do not have a green screen.
Really?
this is good because you're actually stable.
Zoom background.
Very good.
If I don't
he's
move,
very
if I don't
stable.
move my arms, if I move my arms up like this, you'd notice they disappear.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's Zoom.
Greg, I really like yours too. You look like you're in some prison cell.
Yeah. This is my home office.
Jonathan's got a good one. He's just walking along there doing his exercises.
Yeah, what is he? Is he base jumping or what? I saw you jumping off of that. I saw you jumping off of that electrical tower.
I have my camera on my back, so it's
Wow.
it's heavy. It looks like a parachute, but it wouldn't help me any.
Anyway, this is really good. Thank you.
All right,
Thank everybody for joining us tonight. That's amazing.
and don't forget,
Thank
if
you
you
very
want us to come out to your club, promise to come out to your club, do a presentation and zero in. What we're trying to do is zero in on a certain topic, because it's a very complex subject. So you can zoom in on grants, you can zoom in on the Paul Harris's, you can zoom in on a lot of things. So
Which club do you belong to, Annette?
Langley Central.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Have a good evening, everybody.
Wait a minute, if
Thanks
there's
for
nothing
joining
else.
us. This was fun. This is my first visual presentation for this. This was fun.
You did a great job.
Awesome.
Thanks, Malcolm.
Thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
Annette.